Joined now by our good friend Matt Taylor from the voice of the Indianapolis Colts. How are you, sir?
Word up, gentlemen. What's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm waiting for a spring to show up, but so far it's still down in still up in Canada. I think this
Yeah.
weather it's pretty salty, man.
It's further south of us, I think. We're getting that Canada weather. Canada weather's staying tight right now, unfortunately. But what's happening with you going on in the world of the NFL? Indianapolis picks up a nice little piece. I can't remember if we were able to talk about that last week, or if you were with us last week or not, or if we talked about it. I can't remember. But either way, going forward, the Colts are in a much better position than they have been, at least in the eyes of the fans, as well as a lot of people think as well. But they're getting there.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's really, really fun to see what they've been able to do so far this offseason. It's, if you look at a progress report so far of free agency, you're looking at, obviously, Matt Ryan. It's not a free agent, but it's a trade, but it's an acquisition so far this offseason. Another trade is Yannick Ngakoue. Then they've supplemented the roster in other spots. But in saying that, they've also lost some guys that played a lot of minutes for him last year. They were, veteran starters, guys like, Xavier Rhodes is still out there, T.Y. Hilton, Eric Fisher, Mark Glowinski, Eric Reed. Now, these guys are not replaceable, but they still obviously have work to do. I mean, if you look at the Colts roster right now, they only got about 59, 60 guys at last check. And you obviously bring, up to 90 in the offseason workout program, which, oh, by the way, starts on Monday. And then you're gonna have that many guys on your roster heading into camp as well. So this thing's going to be really fluid from here on out, and the Colts are going to have to fill out some of these starting positions that that they have absent right now, with guys going elsewhere in free agency or that are still on the market right now that could potentially come back, like a guy like T.Y. Hilton. But we're still trying to figure that out. And Chris Ballard, obviously. All eyes on the draft as of right now, because it's 2 weeks from yesterday. So it's going to be here before you know it.
And Matt,
we're in the draft. I'm still available, and I'm still trying to pitch it, man. I think I've got at least one and a half games in me.
We'll throw you out there on special teams in a preseason game and just count how many bones you break in one play.
Rudy, baby. I'll give you the Rudy. I'll give the Colts the Rudy experience.
That'll be a prop bet on FanDuel and DraftKings. How many bones Jim breaks running down covering a kickoff? The over-under is set at 4, but I'm taking the over.
I'd just be pulling fat on my way down.
You won't even make it to the 30-yard line before you collapse, pal.
No, yeah, I don't think so. But looking forward to it.
Hey, by the way, when's the Bassmasters, man? When's the Bassmasters Classic for you?
As soon as we get out of here, baby.
Yeah, you're rocking that hat. You look like a pro.
Oh, my
right.
bad. I got this. Mine's a little bit bigger here. It's a one size fits all. It was a free Pacers giveaway that was sent to me. So we were both rocking the bucket hat earlier.
And you guys look like Gilligan. Nicely done, man.
I've never owned one of these. I picked it up on a great purchase. Nice little Adidas hat even. But they've got the cool things that you hang off of it. I don't know what the hell you'd use that for. I don't know what all I would like hanging off of my head.
Store your wallet up there. That way you can pay for another hat that you buy. That's better than that one.
Put the wallet inside the hat, man. There's enough room inside of there. What are all these things for? You seem like a bucket hat guy.
Negative. No,
sure.
Negative.
Really?
I have never worn a bucket hat. No, I have never worn a visor, bucket hat, fedora. I am straight ball cap all day.
Whoa. Why you got those visors in there? Like all indignant, as if
No, I mean, what are you doing there? I mean, are we Steve Spurrier? I mean, are you coaching the Gators here? I mean, come on.
Hey, baby.
Come on.
I am. Oh,
what is the point of a visor? Either wear a hat or don't. Don't go halfway in between.
The sun, just to keep the sun shielded off there, baby.
Here's the thing with a visor. To me, it's always you have to have immaculate hair.
Right. Yeah. You have to have like Dave Calabro hair, or have.
Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, what are we playing? So you're going fishing right now. Then you're going to put the visor on. Let us know when the tennis match starts here, McEnroe.
That'll be next, baby.
Hey, this would be
next.
Hey, a bucket hat would have been good for your trip down in Florida, Matt. You could keep the sun off the back of your neck, off your face.
I was mostly inside meeting princesses, Dustin, so I was actually good from the sun. I was in good shape there.
I'm actually surprised that you're not a bucket hat guy because of all the time I assume that you spend outside as well, like most coaches. Like even you're not a coach, but you're with the team and doing a lot of things. So out there all the time around practice, you see lots of coaches wear these hats.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't. Yeah, I don't have I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't have the head shape or the personality to pull off the bucket hat. I either have a ball cap on or I just go out there and I get fried like a lobster and I turn beet red. Like there's no in between for me. I don't get tan. I just go from pale to red and then start peeling.
See, I try to get, I do tan and I try. That's why I wouldn't wear something like this. That's why I wear the visor. Exactly why. And keep the blonde hair blonde.
Yep.
So one question, Matt, I had
Dustin solved that problem. You can take the hat back off for a second. This just happened like 2 weeks ago. He went all in. He just pushed his chips in, said to hell with it. It's over. Bam.
See, that's not a fashion statement, Dustin. That's an economic decision right there. That way you don't have to hair, right?
I'm saving on shampoo. I'm saving on haircuts. And like 100%. I said, it's better than what I had going on, which was a receding hairline and a growing forehead. So, really 3 birds with 1 stone.
I think you look good, though, man. I do. I think you're pulling it off.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
The funny thing is, when someone first does something like this, and they look so strange and like an alien.
Damn, how do you really feel, dude?
I'm sorry. He's still here. I didn't know that. He can hear me. No, I'm kidding. But it doesn't take long to where that quickly becomes the norm, and they look so normal, and you just completely forget about the fact that someone is just bald, but whether it's by choice or not, it just quickly, unless they have a half a man grown out of the side of their head, you just forget about it.
About what we used to look like.
Like I said, I think you pull it off, Dustin. If I didn't know that you didn't go for the buzz cut and for the low trim, I would have never known that you just started.
And the nice thing is, too, is I used to just wear a hat every time. Now I can go outside. I don't have to worry about anything. I mean, it's just wake up and go, man. It's right. The best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
And now I did have one NFL draft-related question for you, Matt, and maybe we've talked about this before, but with it being right around the corner, I'm always interested when you get to this stage, is a team looking to when they're on the clock, is a team looking to fill those vacancies that they have or those deficiencies, or are they going for the best player? Maybe you have a great player that's available at the cornerback that you don't necessarily need, but it's too hard to pass on him. Is it more of the best player, or is it more of filling a deficiency?
Yeah, I think every team will answer that differently, but working around this regime for the Colts, it's pretty clear that the answer is they're always going to draft the best player available. They're never going to sacrifice the fact that, hey, Anthony Costanzo just retired and we have a hole at left tackle. Let's take a left tackle or a guy that maybe not as high as he may be the 4th best left tackle, but meanwhile when we're picking, the 2nd best edge rusher might be still available as well. So that's not what they're going to do. They're not going to reach based on position if the guy is not there. Now later in the draft, maybe in rounds 3, 4, 5 and so on and so forth, they might go to the intersection of best player available and need, so long as they're not compromising their board. But they do the board for the reason. Honest to God, once the draft starts, the draft dictates to them who they pick. And if you don't have the draft board set up before the draft, then you're just you're in a unorganized chaos, right? Because honestly, the draft should be easy once it starts, because you will have at that point put in all of the work and set up your draft board so that by the time you're picking, let's say, in a normal year when the Colts have a first round pick, if like, let's say last year when I believe they were sitting at number 21 when Kwity Paye fell to them, it's not like they have to deliberate very long on what they're going to do. Sure. At that point, this player at that position is the best player on our board, regardless if we have, 3 or 4 edge rushers that we like. And that's one of the things. I mean, there's a lot of different positions in this league where you can never have enough depth. And last year, it was a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads saying, hey, in the first round, you drafted Kwity Paye, and then in the second round, you drafted Dayo Adangbo, and they play similar positions. What's the deal? Why not go get wide receiver, or not? Why not, take a tackle again after Anthony Costanzo decides to retire? It's because you can never have enough pass rushers. And, the fact is, before last season, the Colts were kind of rolling the dice on some veteran guys that were kind of getting up there in age, were commanding a lot of money, like a Danico Autry or a Justin Houston. The Colts at that point, I'm saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but they just made the conscious decision of, we're going to build this thing long-term at this position, go young, try to develop and have these guys be mainstays for us at that position. And so that's what they did. So at both times of them picking last year in the first and second round, those players at that position were the best players available on their board. So I think that's how most teams do it. Now you got teams like the Rams that, that they want proven commodities in their setup to have this window of opportunity right now. I think the Colts have a window too, but they just kind of do it differently. But the Rams last year proved that, hey, there's different ways to skin a cat. We want proven players that have a track record of success in this league, in the NFL, more so than, a draft pick that is, at the end of the day, no matter how good he is coming out, he's still a projection. So I think, the Colts want to draft well, develop, re-sign their own, and kind of have a core, whereas, again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. I think the Rams showed, hey, forget about these draft picks. We're going to sell these draft picks, trade these draft picks for proven commodities, get premium players at premium positions. But teams, I think, generally speaking, across the NFL, they're always going to draft for need and not reach, because when you reach, guess what happens? You miss on the pick, and then 2-3 years later, you got to do it all over again. You're still having holes at that position that you missed on. So the Colts take the draft deathly seriously. It is the lifeblood of the NFL, and it's certainly the lifeblood of this franchise. They put a lot of stock and a lot of pressure on themselves to draft well, but Chris Ballard embraces that pressure, and more often than not, since he's been here since 2017, he's hit on his draft classes.
Preston?
And so it's just always fascinating to me, Matt, from the journalistic standpoint. How much do you get to talk with some of the players? You were obviously at the NFL Combine. Some of these new guys coming in, is it mostly you're talking with scouts, you're talking with members in the Colts organization to learn more about these players? How much do you get to interview some of these guys that maybe the Colts are really interested in? How much from the broadcast journalism standpoint do you get to know about some of these players that the Colts are maybe targeting in the draft?
Yeah, it's certainly better now, because of COVID the last couple of years. Obviously, everybody's been kind of working remotely. But generally speaking, not a ton. I mean, these in-house, top 30 workouts that they have, obviously those are meant for, personnel folks, Chris Ballard's staff, his scouting department, the coaches, Frank Reich and his staff. They will meet with the players. There's really not a huge opportunity for folks like me in the broadcast sense to interview players. But I tell you what was really fun for the first time in the last 3 years because of COVID, with things trickling back to normalcy, was we had the local pro day on Monday. And so you had guys, in from Ball State, IU, Purdue, kids from Illinois, Marion University was represented. It was just really fun. Then you had, some of the guys that played at other colleges and universities across the country, but they have local ties. Maybe they played high school football around here in the area, like a guy like Max Bortenschlager from Cathedral, who played at Florida International. He was there. Brandon Peters from Illinois, who played at Avon. He was here on Monday. I got a chance to interview David Bell from Purdue. I got a chance to talk with Micah McFadden from IU, Ty Freifogel. And, so you get a sense for what they're thinking going into the draft, their draft process, how grueling it's been, with all the workouts, the combine, and flying all over the country with these top 30 workouts, getting a sense of, how taxing it is to not only get ready for football, but to get mentally prepared for these interviews. And, they're training in different ways to, put up good times at their combine and their pro days with the 40-yard dash and the shuttle and all those things. So it really is just like a different animal for these guys. And so to get some FaceTime with at least some of the local guys was fun this week. I tell you what, I'm really rooting for a guy like Micah McFadden. I mean, I talked to him for 5 minutes and I can just see why, he's oozing with character and, good leader and just, high class inside the locker room. So hoping for him and his sake that he gets drafted and has a good career. I know the Colts, we're talking to him on the side, just like they did with David Bell. So, that part was really good to get back to normalcy, to see football and see guys working out at the complex at the local pro day this week.